Stray is a game about a cat. With that simple phrase, Blue 12's debut title has been able to win over thousands of casual fans through cute factor alone, but they've also ensured that that's not all the game has to offer, serving up a desolate, lost, but ultimately hopeful world to explore with the nimbleness of a fox and, apparently, the raw power of a GE 14.875-inch stainless steel trash compactor. This cat is a menace. I mean, look at that launch speed. Stray's world always feels an arm's distance away. You see it around you, you get the general idea, you learn some of the history and some of the complicated emotional advancements that these machines have gone through over time, but there's still an air of mystery. You never overlearn about your surroundings. This choice allows the setting to remain alien to you, or I guess lets you remain alien to it, with the city's inhabitants being initially shocked, frightened, or just surprised by your presence here after you get Mufasa'd off a cliff as your so-called cat friends stare you down with malice in their beady little eyes. And while it's not the first game to leave you breadcrumbs instead of the whole loaf in order to preserve your curiosity, it is one of the most casual in doing so. The presentation feels effortless despite being so bold, taking you through precarious construction sites, lived-in interiors, and the underside of a Hubba Bubba addict's middle school desk. Damn. Cat's got way too much insight. The pinnacle of the world design comes in larger hub areas that are both winding and free, but also pretty easy to navigate, which is the kind of balance you only get when you're playing as a character who's much smaller and more adventurous than the people the city was designed for. Blue 12 didn't just shove a cat into a random world and say, look, it's cute, now give us money. There's clear thought put into creating something humanoid creatures would build and then weaving in cat-exclusive pathways into it. And they also favored smaller, packed areas over unnecessarily large ones. The robots you meet along the way aren't three-dimensional, they usually only have one or two lines to offer, but small quirks in their outfits, screens, and dialogue allow most to feel distinct, and going around meeting them is a real highlight of the experience. Hey, what's up, dude? Nice to see you, bud. How you been? Rudy! Looking good, man. Hey, do you have any idea what this picture is?
The fuck you say to me, you little
Alright, Jesus, sorry, relax. Musician, huh? Alright, play Flight of the Bumblebee. Stupid idiot, you can't play that on a guitar. Wait, what the fuck? Hey, whoa, officer, relax. Free my boy, he ain't done nothing wrong.
Please leave me alone, I'm not the one you're looking for. If you're looking for Clementine, I'm sure she's hiding in the residence.
Ayo, what? Yo, this dude's a snitch. Benson? Cuff his ass. I didn't know we were dealing with a rat, Benson, did you? Possible 1017, we got a narc on the premises. I repeat, this dude's a narc. For the most part, your missions come down to small tasks, fetch quests, and errands, which in most games is a recipe for a snooze fest, but again, the structure really gels with your little avatar. The quest design starts fading into the background as much as it can in a linear narrative and allows you to shut your brain off, letting you simply experience the game around you instead of focusing on your current goals. Most of the time, you're not some heroic war cat that's laying their life down for their country, you're just being given excuses to climb up some railings and slide over a cold one to an alcoholic robot, while also managing to provide a hope to some citizens of the city and rekindling familial bonds along the way, and that feels much more appropriate for a game like this. It also means the classic, we gotta find so-and-so, but I'm getting distracted by every shiny object in my path trope feels way less out of place here than it ever has. Megged.
The fuck you
Megged. Hey, don't get mad at me, you're the one leaving your legs wide open. I have no idea who did that. What are you doing here anyway? Shouldn't you be off injecting Batman with fear toxin or something? Stray pulls off the one thing it needed to most with the premise that they presented back at 2020's reveal, an effective combination of cyberpunk fantasy adventure and household behavior. Most of the detailed levels and surfaces are just seen as jumping pads with only a few markings or objects actually capturing your attention, and even those wind up in your rear view after a couple of seconds instead of providing you with a whole novel every time you see a funny looking dust bunny off in the corner. New mechanics are also introduced and then moved on from before they overstay their welcome, so you're never stuck doing the same thing too long. An encryption key, huh? This'll take but a moment. I'm in. This one's a bit more complicated. What if I try... Damn, their infrastructure's too secure. The game's not all casual exploration though, sprinkled in are some chases, some pest control, and even a little bit of stealth. None of which is particularly revolutionary or gripping, but these moments are sparing enough that they can help maintain an appropriate pace amongst all the milling about and doing random cat things. These stretches of the game are at their best when there's a bit of puzzling involved as well. Even something as simple as shepherding these little creatures to the side and then taking a shortcut to your goal can make these sections seem more dynamic. But sometimes the game's a little too forgiving with how much slack it gives you. What can I say? When you're stealthy, you're stealthy. And before I get into a couple of quick negatives, I also want to shout out the music for being so futuristic, but also a lot funkier than I imagined. It's not afraid to be more out there, which is nice. DJ, would you kindly spin that shit? While a lot of the world building and pacing is stellar, I do wish some of the puzzles were a touch harder. Some of them were Goldilocks puzzles that felt like they used up just enough brainpower to feel kind of smart while also still not needing to strain yourself, but most are just given to you in bold ink. They do that thing I find really funny in games where there's a code that you need to input somewhere and some genius in the world decided, oh, I'll just write the code in big bold numbers one room over and hide it behind these paint cans. That'll keep it safe, I guess. And then there's the time will tell. I wonder if these 4 giant clocks have anything to do with this 4-digit code. Also, does this guy really have 4 clocks and none of them tell him the actual time? And then there's the absolute classic, hey, here's your keys, you goofball. I can't believe you're so cavalier with them. It's pretty irresponsible. Anyways, I'm gonna leave him here unattended. By the way, hide your safe in a better place than behind a stack of books, you silly goose. See you later. Like, I wonder where the safe is. No way. The game's also not very long, which is either a good or bad thing depending on who you ask. I like the length. I did feel like I got cut off just a little bit short, but for the most part, I'll take a short, consistent game over a long, stretched out one. But to some people, that is a deal breaker for a game that's 40 bucks Canadian. The biggest turnoff to some people, though, will be how platforming is purely contextual. It's not free, which I understand the reasoning behind, and I wasn't all that shaken by it. It kind of feels like the only effective way to pull this off. But I could also see people think that the game's a bit too restrictive. It's pretty linear, and there's only a few predetermined routes that you can take to get around. That might be a double whammy to push people away from it. The only reasons the world doesn't feel incredibly static is the strong, simple dialogue and the incredible character designs. Despite its faults though, Stray comes through with a believable world, well-crafted levels, and plenty of random little activities that keep it fresh over its 3 to 5 hour runtime. And even if it's not an action-packed adventure game, it doesn't have to be. It's just a casual, fun game. A fun game about a cat.